Warning: the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome to Everything Yet Nothing. Here's a hillbilly in eyeshadow who's looking fabulous and talking about anything yet something. Get ready to chew on a blade of sweet grass and talk about a variety of LGBTQ topics to the lifestyle of a gay hillbilly. Watch out, folks. These hills don't just got eyes. They got themselves a vodcast. Now, here's T-Roy.
Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to Everything Yet Nothing. We have a heck of a show for you tonight. I'm telling you what, I'm so excited. I've been excited. She's been on once before, and she kind of shared the light with Stevie Lee Woods, and he runs and owns Pierce Arrow, Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater, Shepherd Hills Expressway, Branson, Missouri.
He don't own Pierce Arrow, he owns
the
theater.
He don't own Pierce Arrow, but the theater is Pierce Arrow Theater.
I just want to make that clear. The way
Yeah,
you said
right.
it sounded like boom, boom.
Well, it gets out there. So, yes, we're going to have her on, and she's going to be talking about what's coming up and what's going on, and I'm so excited because I've known her for a little bit, and, I get people on my show, and it's like, ooh, I want them on even longer or even more because I like learning about individuals and just who they are and where they come from and how everything's been. So she will be on here and we'll be talking about all the stuff that she's done. Like over the years, she's been doing so much. She does stuff for people that just deserve to have a life and deserve love and looking for that acceptance, and I cannot wait to bring her on and talk to her and her band members and a few other people, and they're going to be popping on here and there, so I'm really excited to have them on too. And so the weather's been fair, hot days, cool nights, and it's fall. Hello. I mean, look, we're outside, and the leaves are falling all around us. Just kidding. I wish.
But the leaves are turning. They're not
They
quite
are
this
turning,
color yet.
and they're turning fast.
But as you go down the hills,
take your picture fast. Go to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, if you really want to see a view, because it is absolutely beautiful down there. Oh, and the 25th of this month, in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, they're having a massive, biggest zombie crawl around Arkansas or Missouri. And last year they brought, there were thousands of individuals, and they all dressed up in zombie. We all zombify ourselves. There's vehicles all zombified. There's baby strollers. There's puppies. There's, everything and anything. If they could zombify it, they have. And it is so cool because we do it right at dawn to where, sun's going down, so it's all dusk. So it's all scary, and they played Michael Jackson Thriller, and it's
last year at the end they did a Beetlejuice scene at the table.
Yes.
Dad, you said that scene.
And they did a dance too, like a big old group did a dance. It was really cool, like just all of a sudden. And I really like it because we have a family that goes, his family from Oklahoma, and so we're gonna get together with them. And we're doing it in memory of our nephew that passed away last year. That was there the year before that. And so we're doing it in his memory because he really enjoyed going, and we're really miss him and love him, and he's going to be there with us anyways. So we're going to definitely do that. So come and check it out. Come and hang out with us. I'll keep sharing stuff up until then, and that day will be shared. So yeah, you'll be able to see us out there. We might blend in with a lot of other zombies, but it'll still happen.
Well, so T-Roy, you're not gonna blend in.
Oh, I never blend in, do I? I'm always out there, but hey, that's fine. I like to be out there because it is what it is, and I am who I am. So love it or leave it. T-Roy, hello. You should know that. It's been 19 years, and you don't know that yet. Oh boy.
Well, sometimes I forget. Maybe we have a comment.
There you go.
Hi, Teresa. Love and miss
Hey,
you.
girlfriend. So throughout the show today, we're gonna have comments and we're gonna have questions from just individuals on our, I guess audience. I like to say because you can comment and ask questions, and we'll ask them or give them the comment that you get. So yeah, check it out. Ask your questions because I'm sure they would love to answer whatever. I mean, to an extent. So yeah, that's about all. I mean, we have something coming up, but I can't really say anything at this moment in time. So I'm going to say something later, like after it happens, because it's a big thing. And I can't wait because I'm so excited to share it. And oh, and before I forget, Nashville Warehouse Live Theater, Stevie Lee was performed Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at 8 p.m. Come and check it out. Get your tickets throughout the week. And Sade Shine will share her stuff. She performs there. And we're going to get her information. I already have it, but we're going to ask her and get it that way. So, are you ready to bring her out?
Oh, you know it.
Oh, and by the way, honey, she is the queen of soul. I am not kidding you. I have heard her. She will give you the goosebumps and chills. She sends vibes through you that you will never ever forget because she is just absolutely fabulous. And here she is.
Without further ado.
Without further ado. Hi.
Hi.
How are
You're
you?
muted. I'll unmute you. I got you.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Alright, you have to unmute you, I guess.
So you're muted and we can't hear you. So.
Hi guys, is that better?
Hello.
You know, you study for the test and then that happens, right?
Exactly.
Well, I don't know if you caught it at first when I was trying to play the intro video. It was like, your intro video won't play. I'm like, what?
Yeah. We have bloopers too. It's all good.
Yes. I can do a lot of things, but don't give me buttons that I have to push too much.
Yeah, I like to push them.
Yeah, too many buttons just brings on the anxiety. So okay.
Yeah, that's it. So you perform in Branson.
Yes.
And how long have you been performing in Branson?
Really, in total, I've been performing in Branson for nearly 16 years now. I actually moved to Branson in 2010, where I started off at the Hot Hits Theater downtown.
I love it there.
Oh my gosh, it's my home for life. I learned so many things there. And the fact that they're still going, after all of those years and they've not moved and that stage is still open and still warm and such an intimate show. I started right there at that theater, only doing Aretha Franklin, only because that I only knew a couple of Aretha Franklin songs at that time. So I was not always the queen of soul, okay? I grew up in Springfield.
Yes, and you started singing in church.
Yes. So I started singing in church around the age of 6. I'm originally from Southeast Missouri. That's down in the Boot Hill, Poplar Bluff, Hayti, Sykeston, Kinnick, Cape Girardeau, way down there where the best produce comes from, by the way. And we really didn't have a lot to do. There was sports at school, and then there was church, and that was it. I mean, we came from a very religious family, so the clubs were completely out of the question, or whatever you want to call them, hangout spots. And there weren't very many of those either. I mean, you might find people who throw a big barbecue in their yard, or we had what they call hole in the walls. And so I really started singing in the church, and it was kind of the first group activity socially that I was able to flourish in, and it's really, quite frankly, where I found my voice, quite literally, at the age of 6 years old in the church. And we would do these Easter plays. Oh my gosh, thank God we didn't have social media then. But we would do these Easter plays, and these were not, plays that we learned. These were plays that we would make up, and present to the church. And some of those plays are honestly some of the best memories of my life. But we do these plays, and you always had to, sing the best song. And when I was around 6 years old, I was in this play with all of the kids. We really weren't separated by age then. All the kids, if you were under 13 and under, you were a kid. Honestly, 16 and under, you were just a kid. And so I was so intimidated because there were these teenagers, and they could sing and they were pretty and they had filled out, and I hadn't. And so I was given this song to sing, and the song was Walk Around in Heaven. And it's kind of cryptic when I think about it now, because the song is about someone rejoicing in the fact that they'll be dying soon, but it's okay because they're going to be going to heaven. But it was just a really pretty song. And so I began to sing that song. And the way that the church responded to me as a 6-year-old, I knew right then and there that I had been given a gift, and that that is what I was going to do with my life, was sing.
Absolutely. That is so awesome. So awesome. And it's true. I can hear the soul in your voice, honey. Because whenever you sing, I get goosebumps like every time. And I'm like, the very first time I ever heard you, I just fell in love with you and your
Oh,
voice
thank
and
you.
your whole family. Like, y'all are wonderful. Really,
Yes,
really wonderful people.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. So you perform at the theater downtown. What days do you perform?
So downtown is more of a moonlighting situation now. If they are shorthanded, or if they allow me to come and promote, it's not a constant thing. It's something that's a special treat that I do. So to find out when I'm downtown at the theater, you really just have to follow the page, follow my post, and I will usually put, hey, I will be at the Motown Downtown show today as a special guest. And so I plan on doing a couple of more appearances this year for the holidays in November and December. So I would just encourage anyone who wants to come see me there to just follow me. And like I said, follow my posts, and you'll be able to find out when I'm there.
Awesome. And you also perform at the NRL Wednesdays?
So yes, this is a great thing that has happened. Like I said, was down at Motown for many years, and about a year ago, I decided to write my own production, and it was really out of me trying to fill in some of the spaces that I feel like Branson needed women or people of color to represent, and there was just not a lot of people there to do that. So I was able to create my own show. And I'm sorry, my mother is in here. I was able to create my own show, and out of that, I ended up winning Female Vocalist of the Year, and then the show ended up winning Best New Production. And shortly after that, I was approached by the folks over at Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater, and I was so intimidated because, the Motown Theater, downtown theater, is such a small, intimate space. And
Yes.
in NRL, there's this 850 seat theater, that has all this lighting and production and, instrumentation and sound and speakers. And so it was not that I have not been on major stages before, but to be on it in the capacity of a producer,
Yeah.
it was just a different thing. And I ended up meeting Stevie Lee and his brother Greg, and the guys, the Wackerleys, Jim and his brother, and I just fell in love with the family there. And they told me, from day one, you are a part of this family. We operate like a family, and we are
Yes.
so excited to have you here. And so, yes, my show, we decided to go ahead and move the show to Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater. We started back in April, and we will continue to run through December. We originally started doing 2 days, Mondays and Wednesdays, but now we are just doing one day so that we can focus on having the best production that we can have, and making sure that when folks come in that they are getting a quality show. I tell you what, it's a big thing going from tracks to a live band, and I don't care how much soul you have. It's a whole new ball game. And so, and my particular music is unique to Branson outside of Motown. So actually having a group of guys that are used to playing country music, like, or rock and roll music straight
Yeah.
up, it took some adjusting and some, coming together on what we thought might sound good. Because I'll be honest, when the NRL band first started playing for me, they were playing the Gladys Knight. I heard it through the grapevine, and when I heard it come on, I really didn't recognize the song. It almost sounded like a rock sound, but it was so great that after the show, I was like, guys, I'm really not used to performing the song that way, but let's keep that because it was great. And I would have never thought of it coming from a soul perspective. And so it just kind of, working with that band actually just kind of helped me make my show to be more diverse within itself. You know what I mean? And actually allow for it to not just be this hardcore, just one sound. It's going to be everything. And then as I got into these ladies that I performed, the show is really not just soul, because Whitney Houston was the queen of pop. Tina Turner was the queen of rock. Gladys Knight, soul. Etta James, jazz and R&B. And so you're getting all different genres, really. But growing up, we always thought all of it was just soul music. And so what that said to me was, all of this music is just based in soul. You know what I mean? And so therefore, it still is soul because there's elements in soul in all of them. But honestly, the show is really actually multi-genre as far as the music that you're hearing, especially when I get to the gospel. And recently, I've added another queen to the show because I am in Branson, and that queen is Dolly Parton. So now I do, yes, honey. I had to do what I felt like I would want to be done. So if there was someone representing a particular group of women that contributed to music in a great way, I wouldn't care who they were, what color they were, what music they did. I would want to make sure that I was included in that. And so I tried to figure out, because it's not a country show, how do I do this, But all of the other major theaters, you're going to go in and you're going to hear a variety of music, even though they're country shows. And I was singing Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. And I thought, oh my goodness, Dolly Parton actually wrote that.
Yeah.
And so when I finish up with my Whitney Houston set now, we go into 9 to 5. And that is one of my favorite songs to perform because it's so real, right? When I'm singing those lyrics, I'm feeling those things because I'm literally on this stage working 9 to 5, trying to make a living, and just trying that. I don't know what year that song was written, but it's so relevant even to this day. Plus, we have Dixie Stampede. So how, if I'm going to pay homage to someone in country, although I have a lot of country music artists that I love. Dolly Parton was just that ultimate classic queen that I felt like if I could only include just, one for time's sake, it had to be her. And so the Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater, obviously, were behind that. And they have, it's the only theater in town where you can hear country, rock, and soul, under one in one building. I mean, obviously the shows are different times, but even when I listen and watch Stevie Lee shows, I hear soul in that man's voice. I hear soul all throughout that show. And Devin Callahan, when he's singing, oh my gosh, it's just such a great theater because there's such a robust and diversity of talent that I really felt like that is where I needed to be. Now, I had the opportunity to go to other theaters, and just by me being here for so long, I just really felt like that is where God was leading me to go to. And that's how I ended up at the Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater. And I plan on being there for many years to come, as long as we are open. I plan on having Queens of Soul there because although there were several different things that kind of gave Queens of Soul legs, um, Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater gave me a platform that where I could be respected as a Branson entertainer and not an upcoming or a struggling musician. Being on that stage kind of solidified me as a Branson entertainer. And so for that reason, I could never pay them back. And I have so much loyalty to that theater and what they're doing over there. And I look forward to finishing out the rest of the year and going into Christmas season, which is actually when I was introduced to the people over at Nashville Roadhouse Live last year. I was my first performance on that stage was at their Christmas show, and so it's going to be a great thing full circle when they do their holiday show this year for me to be able to come back as not just the lady that's coming, but one of our actual shows here.
Absolutely, and I'm so excited to watch it. I watched it last year, and it was awesome.
Thank you. Oh, and by the way, that's something we're doing. We are going to be starting our holiday show run November the 5th, which just means we'll be including some holiday classics, like Nat King Cole, Unforgettable, and some Rocking Around the Christmas Tree and some Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas, just a little bit of Christmas cheer that we're going to be adding to the show so that we make sure that the families that are coming are also getting to experience some soulful Christmas music as well.
Awesome. That's
Yes.
so exciting.
Yes.
It's about the time of year where it's just gonna be Christmas everywhere here in the
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready for Christmas, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm ready for Halloween too. I'm ready to dress up and be creepy.
Absolutely.
Well, he said we're going to Zombie Crawl on the 25th of October. It is
Yes, I was gonna ask for the details. I want to come to that event. That sounds like something that will freak me out, but also will satisfy my need.
Absolutely. I'll send it to you. It's the 25th.
Yes.
It starts about dark, and everybody they walk all over Eureka coming down the main highway, and they film it every year. And
Eureka loves their parades, and this is basically a Halloween parade, but only it's zombies.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There was over 35,000
people.
Last year
in Eureka.
In Eureka.
Yeah, that was in 2018.
Like, you walk down. It's so crazy.
Well, maybe I'll come as a zombie Tina Turner.
That would go over really well. It's Eureka.
Yes.
All throughout the day that they do.
Oh yeah, they have games and shows and shops, and it's just really beautiful down there. Really.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite places. Like whenever I was 19 and I did my first trip by myself, and that's where I went. I went to Eureka for the weekend. I asked off and planned it and all that, and so I just took off just by myself. Went to Eureka and had a great weekend and fell in love with it. Yeah. So I
have not gotten to explore much down there, but that's one of my plans is to get down there. And in Arkansas in general, I decided that over the summer I wanted to do more sightseeing, going to like hot springs, and going to national parks and things like that. And so I really do plan on getting to Arkansas, because when I started looking at some of the tourism places for that, Arkansas has some of the most beautiful springs and waterfalls and creeks and parks and things, trails and all of that. So thank you for letting me know that that's worth me going to check out, because we're just right down the street. So we'll definitely be in Eureka.
They welcome everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You walk in and you feel like you're totally accepted
Yes.
right away, and you can feel that
Yes.
vibe walking down the street. It's really nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
I heard they have a live music scene there too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They do. They
So
do.
yeah, that's pretty good.
That do live music, and different bands go down there and perform. And they also have drumming in the park, Basin
What?
Park. Like, what? A lot of people that has all kinds of drums,
just fill up that park
different
and
drums,
everyone
different
drums.
like instruments, homemade instruments. It doesn't matter if it makes a noise. Bring it to the park, and everybody plays them.
Wow.
The music is just totally cool because you
Awesome.
never
I love
had.
it. You know, I love Big Branson and all of the glam. But to be honest, I was raised in Springfield from the age of 9, and I participated in a lot of extracurricular activities in school. And all of the things that I enjoyed growing up doing were things like kayaking and going to, parks and all this. And I often refer to myself as like a black hippie. So it's kind of funny because I think if you had to characterize me, I would be closer to that than a diva. Although my entertainment career, has me as this queen who loves to dress up and wear all this fancy makeup and jewelry. Honey, by the time I get home, these braids are hanging. You know what I mean? I'm smelling like cocoa butter. I am basking in, dim lighting and just like taking it easy. And so I really enjoy when I get to do things that are not just, fun sighting on the stage types of things, but actually where I'm learning or experiencing things that are close to me that I can appreciate, that don't come along with, any kind of PR. Yeah.
That is so cool, and I could tell that too. Like, and you definitely should because look at your life already. Like,
Yes.
it's pretty amazing. Not only are you a singer, but you're a movie star, and you're an actress, and you've performed in plays, and it's just, and it goes on and on and on. That's why I was like, how can you do it? Any
And
commercial?
The only rational, I've asked myself this too, and I've also questioned the things that I've done. I think I really had an awakening when I performed as Miss Seeley in The Color Purple at the
Yeah.
Fox Theater, because it was the first role where I would go in for hair and makeup, and I'm watching everybody get all dolled up, and they have these great outfits from the 20s, and they're
Mhm.
sitting up and looking good. And in my character, I was dressed in rags, and I was minimal makeup, just a little bit of foundation to keep the shine off. And my hair was in this almost slave style, plait style that you would have seen, back in the 1800s. Nothing glamorous, nothing flowy that I could flip or, curl, no glitter. And I got on that stage and I would just close my eyes because it was really hard for me to allow the fan base that I had built up to see me so plain, and so stripped down. And after about the fifth night, it was almost like something came into me and I was embracing it, because it's like, now I know, without all of the glamour, without all of the production, it kind of goes back to when I was at Hot Hits, you have something that shines from within. And oh, I'm sorry, it makes me a little bit emotional. And that role changed not only my career trajectory here in this area, but also the way I looked at myself and the way I looked at other women and the way I would give myself more grace, And so some days, if you see me in Walmart looking like Miss Seeley, just mind your business. No makeup, flip flops, mind your business. I'm back in the role. I'm back in character, And I literally go back to that character sometimes just to humble myself, just to ground myself, because it is so easy, to get swept up in the glitz and glamour. But I've been doing this long enough to know that the glitz and glamour is just for the show, But you got to have way more than that to survive it. What's behind it is what really shines through. And and it helps to be on the bigger stage. But I tell you what, I am always looking for opportunities just to digress and decompress and understand my purpose. And so when you say, well, you do all of these things, how do you do all these things? I think it's simply because it was my purpose, and I follow my heart, and I follow um, the voices in my head. We're going to call it God and Jesus today.
There you
um,
go.
but I'll be praying that it's them. And so far it has been, because I have seemed to evolve emotionally, and, seem to just keep climbing and breaking glass ceilings. And so that is it. The perseverance, the motivation. I would love to take credit for all of that, but it really is just a gift, and me walking in my purpose, how I'm able to do it all, or to, shift when I need to. And it's just something where I'm just listening to God and saying, hey, just guide me, because I did so many things on my own, and I worked so hard, and I've met so many famous people, and I've been in so many great situations to where I'm like, well, why haven't I, gotten this big dollar deal? Why am I not, sipping
Right.
mimosas with Beyonce? And it's because I've stayed true to myself. I've stayed true to my purpose. I've stayed
Yeah.
true to my calling. And rather than me I never wanted to be who I am to make me look good or feel good. I've always had it in me to give, inspire,
Yeah.
show people that, you can do this. I have so many people like, well, why are you in Branson? That's not for you. And, why aren't you in New York or LA? And I'm thinking, first of all, are you going to pay my bills? No.
I don't think so.
Second of all, a lot of the negative things people believe and they gravitate toward, they're rumors, and they are just nothing more than stories of fictionality. And so it takes someone who understands that. I've experienced, yes, I've experienced racism, but I've also experienced things from people in my own race that I felt like were holding me back. And so I understand that my thing is not just about me being some black lady. It's about me being someone who can identify with marginalized communities for whatever reasons, and still know that I'm not rich. I'm not the skinniest. I'm not the status quo, but here I am still standing. Here I am with my own show. Here I am. For me, yes, it might be the first black lady producer, but for you, it could be the first, a trans producer, or first whatever title you want to put in there. It's just simply to represent a marginalized people or community, or oppressed people or community, and say, listen, I know it might be tough. And yes, you're going to run into ignorant and prejudice. That's anywhere you go, with any business you're in, anywhere you live.
Yeah.
People choose to be that way. But
In race. Yeah.
you can do it. And if
Yeah.
that's really what you want to do, we're not going to use excuses. We're going to get in there, and we're going to get our hands dirty. We're going to take our licks, and we're going to keep on ticking. And even part of me even calling the show Queens of Soul was a little bit in response to the issue in Branson where, there was some religious and political mess where they didn't want drag shows, and I was hearing about it. I'd rather not go into detail about it, but a lot of my friends represent the LGBTQ plus community, and at one point in my life, I did way back in the day, and so I said, when you hear Queens of Soul, don't just think I'm talking about some old black ladies. I'm talking about queens, queens including the LGBT community. So right here in Branson, even though you have people working against your freedom in that way, you have someone who can identify with you, who's actually saying, hey, I have guest stars all the time on my show. Come on my show and perform. You know what I mean? I'm the boss of that. I dictate what goes on that stage. And that's why I'm taking the sacrifices that I'm taking. So not that I'm just up there shining it pretty, but so that I can actually take a stand and actually help move the entertainment world in Branson in a more progressive direction. Not downing anyone or how it is, or not trying to change it, but just creating a lane for everybody who doesn't fit that, you know, rhinestone cowboy or cowgirl persona. And since I've been there, I've watched Branson change so much and become so much more diverse. I'm telling you, when we first moved to Branson, seeing another black person was like seeing a giraffe, you know? We would just like kind of stare and be like, are you lost? What are you doing here? And they always mistake us for being tourists, But now, at any given time, you're going to see Hispanics, Asians, Brazilians, Jamaicans. I mean, I've ran into cultures in Branson that I never would have imagined. It actually is a melting pot, and because of the travel industry, you have so many people coming from different countries to work. And I thought to myself, my goodness, we are missing out, especially when, we've had as a city some issues with, the numbers going down for people showing up to see shows, and, younger people coming. And I thought, man, what a missed opportunity. Somebody's better jump in there, and catch, all of the people that are falling through the cracks are going to things that they're just going to because that's all they think is there, or all that they know that is there. So this past week in my show, I had a bus, my first bus. And when I looked back at the pictures I posted, I kind of shed a tear because 15 years ago, I was told there was no market here for me. That people didn't want to hear that kind of music, And when I have people of all races, I mean, there was one show I had these three little girls. They were Caucasian little girls, but they came in with their crowns and they had their feather boas and they had their dressy dresses on, and they were singing Aretha Franklin. I was like, oh my God, like I'm seeing this come to life and seeing that you can't always wait for there to be a market for what your vision is or purpose or calling is. Sometimes you have to create it. And now I think with Queens of Soul, I think I have really shown people in my community, people outside of my community, people traveling to Branson, that this is a place where you're going to get some diversity, where it's not just all, this way or that way. It's not, this is a place that is open, and once I found out over 8 million people a year travel to Branson, give or take, I thought, man, if I could just get 50 cents, forget that 10 cents from each person, I could be wealthy. So how do I, do that, brand myself in a way that's digestible for everyone, but also stay authentic to what I represent. And what I represent in Branson is just that, the marginalized people that feel like they are beneath or not good enough or not wealthy enough to be in a place like that, and be in a place of a position of power, and not just singing. I've sang for many years, but through my experiences, I understood that if you really want to get to that next level, you got to learn the whole job. You have to learn how to sell your tickets. You have to learn how to market. You have to, be willing to get out of long rehearsals and then go to the library and send out 2,000 emails. Nobody's going to do that for you. Yep. And it has been very difficult maintaining and focusing. But I'm so grateful for, like I said, the tribe around me, people like you who are inviting and warm and just, inspire. You actually inspire me too. When I first met you, I was just first of all blown away by your style and your expression of, style. I was just like, oh my God, the lips and the matching jacket. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I need to go in your closet. I believe you had on the fur. And I was just like, where am I? I had to realize where I was. Okay, honey, you are in Branson and it is fabulous. Okay. And so that is what Queens of Soul is. It's not just a show. It's a vision. It's a vision, and it's a resource, because like I said, one of the things I do, I bring in, so for my opening And for my halftime, I bring in different people to showcase. I've had a tap dancer, I've had a comedian, I have invited some of my friends from the LGBTQ plus community, but some of them have been very apprehensive and they don't know that it's safe there at my show. You know what I mean? And I'm not worried about anybody trying to shut me down because, honey, if that was possible, they would already did that. So, that's what the sacrifice is for. Really, it's not money. It's to be able to have a say and a voice. And so, this show I think is going to be such a gem in Branson, and a lot of people don't know about it, and I don't have all of the major advertising and major billboards that I should have, but I feel like if I am able to get buses without that, it's coming. Just keep pushing, keep doing these things, keep connecting with local people, keep offering, and being of service. And also, you can book Queens of Soul. So you can book Queens of Soul for your private event, and you can book me with a live band, or you can book me without a band. And so a lot of times I'm able to cover things because I travel and perform this show in other places. And then those people end up coming to Branson, and then they come see the show again. So, it is a traveling show as well. And I think that helps. I had to open it up in that way until we do have a bigger presence here. But, a lot of times people are worried about the people next door to them, but it's the people that are coming in who I'm worried about. Those are the people I need to reach. Those folks coming from Oklahoma, Kansas City, St. Louis, Little Rock, all those folks coming in. That's who I have to focus on, because quite honestly, if I just focused on the local politics of it, I would probably just not be motivated to do this. And everybody has their own ideas and ways of doing things. But when you're doing something new, it's kind of frustrating because you don't have all the answers, but you also know that sometimes people that may think they know, they've not done what you're doing. So they can't really tell you how to do this. You know what I mean? This is what I do. And maybe what you do works for you in your production. But for me, I understand that my market and my target audience. And so I have to embrace being not as traditional in my posting or in my activities as some of the other major talents in Branson. And so that's been, it's been hard to navigate, but I will say one of my people that I absolutely love is Cadence Miller. She's over at the Majestic, and she's also a female producer. She's extremely talented. She won Female Entertainer of the Year this year, which is huge for a female anywhere. And she so deserves it, right? Anna Watson, I share the stage with her and Garth Brooks, and she's an amazing vocalist, and she is such a good, sweet person. I just love Anna. I was able to go over and do some of the Hot Summer Fun shows, one of them was called Hot Summer Fun, but there was another one, but at Clay Cooper's Theater and the Hughes Brothers. And so I have been ushered in, you know what I mean? And I am really grateful for that. I got a chance to go see MJ The Illusion, and I'm not going to lie, like his show is probably one of my favorite shows I've ever seen.
Freaking phenomenal. In person,
it's just so entertaining.
Greatest guy ever. Him and his both are just phenomenal. And makeup artist, like you would know.
On point. Like, so I'm looking forward to getting to a place where I feel like I have created a bigger presence for my show. But as far as the acceptance of the entertainment community as a whole, I think it's been really great. And I'm really excited. I'm like literally excited to see where Queens of Soul is going to be, next year, and how we're going to be, bringing in people. And one of the things I did want was for the show to be on the Strip. because when you don't have a lot of marketing advertisement, everybody goes on the Strip, and I feel like, the Strip anywhere should have some soul on it, and so eventually one of my goals is to, whether it's just an event or whatever, is to get that show on the Strip at some point where people can just see it in its glory amongst the other theaters on the Strip. And I don't expect, any kind of red carpet or handout, but that is one of my goals. And I think it should be the goal of everybody to see all of the representation that Branson has in a big as light as, it can be, because it only makes the city better. And I look forward to that happening as well.
Awesome. We have got to do a commercial.
Okay.
When we come back from the commercial,
sounds good. I'm excited to see the guys. Hey.
I think we're excited too. To be just the same.
Okay.
Where country meets rock and roll.
Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Where country meets rock and roll.
Nashville Roadhouse Live, multi-award winning show including Best of Branson and Best of Southwest Missouri. Nashville Roadhouse Live, the most awarded show in a single year in Branson history. The best of Branson. The best dancers, singers, snacks and drinks, and audience. For tickets, visit NashvilleRoadhouse.com or call 417-336-8742. Branson's most awarded theater and shows. The Pierce Arrow Theater, Nashville Roadhouse Live. Located at 3069 Shepherd of the Hills Expressway, Branson, Missouri. For tickets, visit NashvilleRoadhouse.com or call 417-336-8742.
Established in 1852. Built by Judge Tompkins for his daughter Theodosia and her husband Dr. Hall. Hence the name, Hall Place B&B and Theodosia's Tea Room. During the Civil War, Judge Tompkins and the Halls moved to Indiana. Theodosia and Dr. Hall did not return to Kentucky. Judge Tompkins, however, did return and practiced law out of the home. After his passing, the home was bought and sold until it eventually sat vacant for several years until Mrs. Royce acquired the home and turned it into a bed and breakfast. In 1983, the house was placed on the Historic Registry. The Hall Place Bed and Breakfast and Theodosia's Tea Room, located at 313 South Green Street in Glasgow, Kentucky, is also a great place for a paranormal destination. It is said that a few ghosts inhabit the Hall Place. Mrs. Royce herself still watches over her beloved bed and breakfast, with its sprawling common areas, quaint rooms that are each named after the historic owners of the home, and even a billiard room. Ms. Charla Emmers, the owner/innkeeper, makes homemade jams and goodies you can pick up during your stay. She cooks a down-home breakfast every morning as well. If you are ever in Glasgow, Kentucky and want a unique experience, stay at Hall Place B&B. And don't forget, breakfast is served at 8:30.
And we are back. Yep. Sade Shine.
Hey.
So we're going to pull out the
All right.
John and
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Mr. John.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, John.
Dwayne.
Why is Dwayne sideways?
Sideways.
Hi.
Excuse me.
I'm just trying to be different.
Okay.
I love it.
There we go. It's okay. We accept different at Queens of Soul, so we're okay with that.
I thought you guys were sideways.
Oh.
Maybe
Perception is everything.
I guess do it. Love you.
So these guys are I know earlier in the interview I talked about the NRL award-winning band that started off the show playing for me, but now I have an all-new band which These guys are amazing. I'm going to let you talk to them and find out what they do and who they are. But this is the new Queens of Soul. So hopefully you guys find them as intriguing and handsome as I do.
So
I'm still trying to get settled here.
What's that?
Tell us about yourself.
What is your position in the band?
And play in bands and play with people. And I'm very blessed to get to play with some amazing people. And one of the most amazing things that I did was to play in the orchestra pit for The Color Purple, where Sade played Celie. And it was amazing to watch her work. Like she said, her character at first is wearing rags, and she comes out and she's very abused and like put down by life and by everybody around her, to the point that even at one point in the show, she tells, I think her son maybe, that he needs to beat his wife to keep her in line, because that's her world. That's all she knows. Mm-hmm. And eventually she reaches the point where she just says, this is who I am. I'm going to be true to myself. And the song was called I'm Here. And I remember the first performance where that was this standing ovation that was just amazing. And I think it's because everybody relates to that. You know, everybody wants to be able to live their authentic self and just say, this is who I am. Here I am, world. And that's why it was such an amazing moment in that show. And after the first time that got a standing ovation, every other time, that was just such a special moment in that show. And so that's what she's doing now, is saying, this is who I am, I'm here. So she lives that.
Yes. And that's and the play, everything about it. I fell in love with it whenever I first watched it, because I felt something from it myself.
Yeah.
And for you two to be a part of that, that's even just, that blows me away. So y'all are freaking awesome for being a part of that and for being who y'all are, all three of you. So
yeah, I remember the last show, I looked over at Becky and Suzanne, who were the horn players, and they just had tears streaming down their face. we were so sad that we weren't going to get to perform that again. So it's truly an honor and a joy to be able to perform with Sade, to be able to back her up again.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Dwayne, what is your position?
Well, I pretty much the same as John's. I've done this for years. I have a rock background, gospel background. Never got to play this kind of music. Always enjoyed it, loved it. But there's not a lot of singers in my area of the world that can sing like that. Mm-hmm. Can sing, Aretha, Whitney. So I put on the headphones and played along with the music before. But Sade was touching on it earlier that when we first started, she had kind of what she said. What she said was, "I only know how to do this one way." What she's saying is, "I only know how to do this the right way." So shape up. It's kind of it's a learning process, because soul music gets its name because it comes from the soul. It has a feel. If you don't have that feel, it's not the same music. So, but for me, just have the opportunity to work with someone like Sade, who just walks up there, turns into Sade when she's on the stage. That's when she's Sade, and just that stuff just pours out of her, And I could do other things, but I'm where I need to be right now. That's where I want to be. Somebody everybody keeps saying authentic. She's authentic, and that's it. That's what she is. And so she's gonna have to run me off.
There you go. Well, thank you very much. So, are you in local?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Are you and John local, like Branson, Springfield?
I played in some of those shows, different variety shows, in the past. Like I said, I'm at the age now. I've done enough, been on the road enough, and I could do, pick and choose where I want to be and who I want to play with, And as soon as I heard this girl sing, I'm like, that's who I want to play with the voice, but also because she's Sade. She's just so authentic. She works hard. She's like this. She's a real person. That's who I need to be around. So that's my background. I mean, I've done the variety shows and stuff like that before, but this is a totally different animal, and it's a challenge, and I love it. I love the music.
Awesome.
Timeless. It needs to be performed and remembered, and honor the artists, not just the artists, but the musicians. Yes. A lot of people don't know there's just a handful of guys that were trusted to play this music and record this music. Didn't get any credit, Yeah. So we're I feel like we kind of honor them too. So I'm just having a blast doing it. Money's not everything, I got to be happy. If I'm not happy playing music, I'm going to stop. And I'm really, really happy doing what I'm doing right now, where I'm at with John, and we got a great bass player. Mm-hmm. So, but we have the chemistry. It's come together. I feel like we're getting there, but it's a process to learn to play this music the correct way. And I'm not quite there yet, but I'll get there. She'll be patient with me.
That's all it takes is patience. And y'all are gonna get it because you have Sade on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have great chemistry on stage. Everybody gets along, and no drama. There's nothing like that, and I love that part. I don't need any drama. And you're doing something new, bringing something, like you guys have been talking about. It's not just because she's the first Black woman. She's dared to do something different. Be somebody different, and go someplace different, and say, "Here I am." Like John said, "Here I am." Yep. And it's cool to be a part of that. I've done a lot of stuff. This is one of the coolest things I've ever done, and I'm just happy to do it once a week. Hopefully, it'll grow, and we can keep the core of people around her that she deserves. And if she takes off tomorrow and goes to the top, I've been a part of it. So I'm just happy to do that.
That's cool.
I love her to death.
Yes. Well, that is great, and it is, it's the show. So thank you all for tuning in and coming on as our guest. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for helping and working with Sade. She totally deserves it, 100%. And y'all are going to rock it out and bring the soul to it.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say thank you to the Everythin but Nothin podcast for having us. I just want to say thank you to my band members that were able to tap in. We have two people that were not able to chime in, Becky Stafford, who also sang in The Color Purple. She was part of the cast, as well as Cody Randall. He was unable to join us this evening, but they are also amazing. I also would like to say thanks to Greg Laster, who's out here from Las Vegas. He's at the Motown Downtown Theater doing a James Brown tribute show. He comes and helps me with background vocals and things like that when he can. And so I like to help promote his show and just the theater down there as well. Before I go, a few important dates I'd like to mention. At the Bazaar Bar in Springfield, Missouri on October 10th. I will be performing at that venue. It is an LGBTQ-friendly venue. Actually was created for that community, and they have invited me to come out and do some original music. I will be opening for one of my good friends, RK. She goes by the Lady Boss, and it's her album release party. So we look forward to having everybody come out to Springfield on October the 10th for that. November 7th, I will be performing at the Riff with my band, these guys, at the Honest John comedy show. He's an international comedian, as well as a big date for the band that I'm in, 7D Funk, which is my disco band that I'm in. It's not my band, it's actually Tim Broadbent's band, but I'm the lead vocalist. We will be playing the Imagine Show, which is one of the biggest benefit shows in Springfield, Missouri. It's an annual show, and it's all Beatles music. So you can see me in many different lights if you follow the page, Queens of Soul at Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater. Also, you can follow my page, Sade Shine, on Facebook. I also have Shine Entertainment and Shine Foundation, which is my nonprofit page. So you have many ways to follow me and keep up with the many things that we're doing. I hope I covered everything and didn't leave anybody out. This has been a wonderful interview. And as you guys know, you always have open invites to anything I'm a part of.
Well, we are very appreciative. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dwayne. Y'all have a good night.
All right, good night.
Good night. And there you have it. I told you it was going to be a fabulous show. One of a kind, I tell you. One of a kind.
So Casey said hey, and so did Kayla.
Hi.
And let's get on out of here.
So we are out of here. If you need somebody to lean on, talk to, speak to, you feel suicidal, or you just feel alone, you can text 988 and or call them at 1-800-273-8255. Then they will come and be there for you. And if not, they'll send you the way that you need to be sent and shown. You can reach out to us. I would be more than happy to listen to you and be there for you and to have that shoulder for you to lean on.
Hi, Jamie.
So, hi, Jamie. Hi, Kayla. Thank you all for tuning in. And until next...
Speaking of Queens, and we did kind of talk about Queens, I do want to give a shout out to our old director of Queens, Cassie.
Yes.
So they're doing Rocky Horrible Show in Kansas City at the Sidekick Saloon, and that's on October 4th, October 11th, and October 25th at 8 p.m. You guys need to go see it. If you're in the Kansas City area, go check it out. It's Sidekick Saloon, 8 p.m. It's this Saturday and next Saturday, skip a Saturday, and then go the 25th. So if you're in town, go see it.
Yes. And you got to check her and say, hi, Cassie Cass. T-Roy sent you. And she'll be all like, really? I'll kill him. Yeah. Love you all. Peace and love. See you next Thursday on Everything Yet Nothin. Without the Jews, because I'm a gay.
Thank you for joining T-Roy and a special guest here on Everythin Yet Nothin. Tune in next Thursday at Thank you for joining T-Roy and a special guest here on Everythin Yet Nothin. Tune in next Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central for another episode you won't want to miss. Until next time, be a rainbow in someone's life. Like and follow us on Facebook at WLFE DB Radio.